on the subject of wrestling, hey, last weekend was WrestleMania weekend, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know that it was a monumental success. They finally held it at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, Florida, with limited attendance.
The way they meant to, the way they were trying to do last year, but they wound up doing it in an empty building in the middle of Orlando instead.
Yeah, exactly. And,
gotta improvise everything.
And they split up the pay-per-view event on 2 nights. Night 1 ended historically with Bianca Belair being crowned as the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Bravo to her.
Yeah.
And night 2 ending with Roman Reigns defeating Edge, a returning WWE legend, and Daniel Bryan, and retaining the Universal Championship.
Yep, that
Nice.
it was rather fucky, to be perfectly honest. Like, you have to understand something, Angel. Roman Reigns was coming in as the bad guy. He was a heel champion, and Edge started off in one of the most beautiful, like, Cinderella moments you could imagine here. Basically, Edge had retired 10 years ago because he had spinal stenosis in his neck. Basically, he was forced to medically retire. He was forced to say, okay, if I keep wrestling, I will die dead in the ring. His doctors had told him he cannot wrestle again. He was forced to give up the sport and the entertainment of sport that he loved so much.
11 years, dude. 11 years is a long time.
For those of you who
9
aren't
years. He came
educated,
back around.
spinal stenosis was what I had during my 3rd car accident, the one that nearly killed me.
So so Angel, you understand how much of a
I
fucking game it
understand
is.
just how much of a danger that can be.
It's not a game.
Yeah,
It's no fun.
No, it's not.
So with him making a surprise entry in the 2021 Royal Rumble match and winning the actual match in spectacular fashion, this was like the greatest moment that people could ask for. It was a beautiful Cinderella moment. Like, the guy came back. He, against all odds, he managed to recover and decided to come back to the sports entertainment that he loved so much. Yes, I'm saying it that way specifically.
So he pulled an old snake.
Oh yes,
yeah. No,
and he looked beautiful.
He looked fantastic.
Jacked. He's got a beard on him.
As he
is
should.
Punished Edge, a man.
Jesus Christ.
He's the jagged edge.
The man who's
old, not obsolete.
Yep. The man who's been deprived of his concertos of slapping people with a fucking folding chair.
Exactly. Now,
lo and behold,
go on.
I realized that I was not done
We're
beating
spinning
ass, so I had to get back in the ring.
It's all right. We're spinning a yarn here, Jose. It's all right, and we've got plenty of time. And for those of you who are tuning in, don't forget, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, which is located down here. Angel, point down to your left, please.
My left. That would be right here.
Yes, that way. Point
Yes.
down that way. That's where the that's where the notification bell and the follow button and the on Twitch and on YouTube is going to be. So please, folks, use that shit.
Now, getting back on the subject, yes, WrestleMania was awesome. Lots of fans that
you don't want to tell the story of Edge. He was your hero.
We have a bigger story because stuff happened after WrestleMania.
What do you mean? How could anything be bigger than one of the most monumental WrestleMania matches ever to show up? What could possibly be bigger than that? What could possibly be more beautiful and more noteworthy than an epic clash between a heel champion who spent the majority of his career being booed out of the audience versus a returning legendary veteran coming in for one last bout against all physical odds, and Daniel fucking Bryan, one of the most celebrated, excellent professional wrestlers of all time, duking it out for the Universal Championship. What could possibly be bigger than that, Jose? Pray tell.
Angel, should I do it? I shouldn't do it. Should I do it?
Might as well.
Do it. I don't care.
Should I really do it? You need to pressure me. Come on.
Really
You're supposed to be my guilty conscience.
Do it.
Oh, no, my man.
I have no shame
in the end had to make his own choices.
Fucking
do it!
Okay.
So the WWE has fired 10 of their stars and talent on Thursday, April 15th.
Are you fucking kidding me? So they're doing their spring cleaning here.
They're doing their spring cleaning. Literally 4 days after WrestleMania, they have released 10 wrestlers, male and female. And I will go through the list, and trust me, a lot of these will be in shock. Number 1, Billie Kay.
Bring it on.
Okay.
Billie Kay. Number 2, Mickie James.
These are ladies, by the way.
Yes. Number 3, Chelsea Green. Number 4, Tucker,
Man, just
or
dumping
rather,
out all the Budasses.
Tucker Knight. He was one half of Heavy Machinery. Number 5, a luchador named Kalisto. Number 6, Wesley Blake. Number 7, this is a big name, former TNA and former Ring of Honor World Champion and former NXT Champion, Samoa Joe.
They just toss his ass like that?
They just toss his ass like that. The Ishilocos on the YouTube chat saying, "What up? Hi there, Ishilocos. Thank you for joining us.
Hi,
We're about to throw down.
We're about to throw down some salt here. Number 8,
Hello,
Bo Dallas. Number 9, this one was really effed up, Peyton Royce.
Peyton Royce and Billy Kay, by the way, Angel. Those two ladies started as a tag team, calling themselves the Iconics. We'll get into that in a moment.
Ooh.
And number 10, Mojo Rawley.
Mojo Rawley.
He
Okay.
co-hosted last year's WrestleMania. He also won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal at WrestleMania 33, which nobody cares. And he's just been floundering in the bottom card. Whatever.
All right. Now, actually, we also have Bunda on the YouTube chat. How you doing, Bunda? Thank you for joining us tonight. He's
Shut
over
up.
here saying, yep, he's actually saying all these releases were justified. None were drawing money. Now, that is an argument that can be made.
Yeah.
And there is merit to that. However, there's also one really strong element that I think people forget. The WWE has money out the ass. They just signed a multi-year deal with the Peacock app. Yeah, the NBC streaming app, where they basically said, you know what? The WWE, we don't need our own app, our own streaming service. Let's just staple ours. Let's just grab a stapler here and let's just fucking graft ourselves over into these guys and charge them
Don't
out the
fucking
ass
think
for it. Let's just do
science.
that.
Please don't waste those.
Well, that's the problem, though. The company is doing its job to make money, but that doesn't change the fact that based on their bookkeeping records, those 10 names are not making money, so they have to go.
Yes, according to news sources that I've looked up, it was a joint decision between Vince McMahon and the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations, John Laurinaitis, to make these cuts due to budget cuts, just like that, due to money. Now,
How
to go into
much you want to bet that the definition of a joint is Vince just waltzing into the mouth and going, I want this team gone. I want all of these people gone. And the manager of relations is just going, well, you're making the decisions. There, that's the joint decision. Vince McMahon burst into the room, angrily moving his jowls side to side, and 10 people got fired because of it.
Now, to go into specifics here for some of these, not all, let's start with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is one of the big names on the WWE main roster.
Okay.
He was featured in a high-profile main event matches with AJ Styles, with Brock Lesnar, of all people, with Roman Reigns, and other big names.
Here's the part that people have been calling bullshit over the years. Samoa Joe has a legitimately wonderful independent wrestling background. He's had his shares of rivalries, wins, and losses, and all of which have been deemed the stuff of legend. They've been deemed like these beautiful matches. He started in Ring of Honor wrestling alongside CM Punk and alongside the burgeoning Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan. Yeah, like those two guys were like, hold on. Okay, Bunda on the chat was saying, okay, when's the last time you bought a WWE Samoa Joe shirt? Funny you should mention that. I've got one already, and I actually bought it forever ago. The problem is, why the fuck haven't they been putting him on TV? Oh yeah, that's right. Because the WWE don't think that he's worth being in the ring for, so they relegated him to commentary. And then when they couldn't stand the fact that he was doing well in commentary, they bounced him out of that role and then fucking fired him.
Let me get in specifics here. Now, the reason why they put him on Raw commentary was because Samoa Joe had suffered multiple injuries ever since being called up to Raw. Like, he's been on wrestling on Monday Night Raw between 2017 till 2020. I think at the last I checked, like specifically, he had sustained an injury on his foot or his ankle, whichever one, and he was kept out of the ring for months. They relegated him into color commentary, which he did pretty good. He was even doing color commentary for WrestleMania, and then
this past weekend.
This past weekend, and then the next night on Monday Night Raw, he was removed from the commentary team with no rhyme or reason. And then a couple days later, that's when we get the news. Now, to get into a little bit of speculation, my theory as to why he was removed from the commentary team is that there may have been a dispute internally between the WWE executives and Samoa Joe about him getting back into the ring, but the WWE officials did not want to medically clear him because they saw him as a liability in getting himself injured again.
Bunda on the chat's actually over here adding, not to mention he almost killed Tyson Kidd. He cost him his career. That was
2016.
Yeah,
that was years.
But that's still one of those like
that
ouch
still happened.
Fucking moments. Yeah,
that's
okay.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
You can't hold that against him because it was genuinely an accident. It's not like he walked to the ring trying to commit murder. Point in case being, the fact is that you have a particularly powerful wrestler with an important figure. He gets injured, and instead of trying to put him into the ring when he recovers, you just cut him aside because the WWE is basically going by the rules of Nintendo. We don't need to take risks because we have enough big names that we can just keep posting the same thing over and over and we can still make money. I hate the fact that they did this, but I can see why they did it because from their point of view, it was essentially a corporate, okay, let's look at the numbers. These numbers are not looking too big. Gotta go. But I gave my years to this company. Well, you're not giving enough now.
And you're appreciated for that. Thank you.
Go.
Bye-bye.
Right. Now,
noted and ignored.
Now, on to the subject of Billy Kay, Peyton Royce, and Tucker. All three of them were part of the teams in the WWE. Tucker was one half of a tag team called Heavy Machinery alongside Otis, and these guys were over. They have the appearance, they have character, they've got the size and strength.
They were big dudes. They were big fluffy dudes, especially Otis. He's a big chubby dude. They're big guys, and you don't actually get to see proper big guys in the WWE because everyone must be like a jacked supermodel looking dude on an 8x10 motherfucker.
Yeah, if you're not 6'5" and if you're not jacked up with a six pack and you're not 275 pounds, then no one's going to take you seriously.
Except, of course, when they have an actual literal underwear model in the form of Finn Balor, who's done underwear modeling in Japan, and they won't actually put him with anything proper in the main roster, so they're having him on NXT because he'll be the big fish in the small pond over there. Apparently, they don't even follow their own rules for that shit. Now, the point is, Heavy Machinery...
I think that's the reason they do it is because he is a model, and they don't want to risk breaking his face too badly. He needs to look good for the camera, as you see.
Yeah, but like back on the subject here with these guys. First, let's start with Billy Kay and Peyton Royce. These two were over as a tag team. They started as a tag team in NXT, and then they moved over to the main roster, and they found success, culminating to WrestleMania in 2019 when they captured the WWE Women's Tag Team titles from Bayley and Sasha Banks.
You have to understand something, Angel. These two girls, they're both Australian, yes? They moved from Australia to work at the
well, shit. No wonder they were wrestling. They were already used to fight for their lives.
Okay, no.
Shut up.
Okay, you need to look these girls up. Okay.
Look them up sometime.
Right,
Juan, continue.
Yeah, all right, let me take the reign on this one. These two came up with the basically, they come off like annoying, like prissy jackass, like fucking Heathers from fucking high school. They're annoying girls. They laugh at their own inside jokes, and they think they're like the hottest, funniest comedy shit. And they were over because they were annoying and they were working the fucking audience of being just like, oh, these fucking brats, these fucking dumbass bitches. How dare they? They're making a mockery.
Piss them off.
It's working the fucking audience. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Peyton Royce, she's got a lot more athletic ability than Billy Kay, or is it the other way around?
They're both equally matched, but the one that stands out the most is Peyton Royce, and that's when WWE made the decision to split up the Iconics in their latest draft in October of 2020. They split up the Iconics, sending Billy Kay over to SmackDown. Because they promised Peyton Royce a main event singles push, which never happened.
Like, it's basically Billy Kay. She could work a little better on the mic. She's not quite as fluid in the ring, but she could still get there. And of course, with her teaming with her friend Peyton Royce, you wouldn't be able to notice that too much if they're tagging in and out. Like you said, Peyton, she's got fucking more athleticism and a little more ability on there. So there was a future of her being in singles, but the fact that they split up the Iconics like this is just another sign like, okay, these guys are trying to do something different, but they're not giving a lot of forethought. And when they didn't get the instant results that they were looking for, they fucking cut them both off.
Pretty much.
Okay, we gave you exactly 6 months to become legendary. It's not working out.
Yeah, with Peyton Royce,
Well,
the last time she was in anything like main event marquee was when she cut an unscripted promo on their talk segment, which is post Raw, like called Raw Talk. She basically expressed all of her grievances in the company and basically concluded saying, "Give me Asuka, stop wasting my time." Asuka being the former Raw Women's Champion. She had her match. It was a great match, but failed to capture the championship.
Damn, and that was enough for them to go, well, that's it.
All right, hang on a minute. We got more comments from this fellow guy.
Bunda on the chat is was over here saying Otis was over on his own. He really was. We're gonna get to Otis in a minute because of heavy machinery to get to that. And he also says the Iconics are easily replaceable. Get rid of them.
Wow.
Ouch. That's cold.
That is very cold, dude.
That is
cold-blooded. Now, with Billie Kay, she, despite being drafted to SmackDown, she actually segued into an interesting character type. Like, she was going around with her resume in hand, with her profile, with her picture in hand as well, trying to look for work elsewhere. Like, she would try to be a valet for different superstars on the SmackDown roster, and that was actually entertaining. And she even actually got a chance to compete in WrestleMania, unlike Peyton Royce. But the problem with Billie Kay is, according to news sources, WWE producer Kevin Dunn basically didn't get her character and saw that she had a ceiling in the WWE, meaning that there was nowhere that there was a certain limit to her popularity of where she would go.
Okay, and for the record, Kevin Dunn.
So I have to stay then.
Okay, for the record, Kevin Dunn. He's the guy who's more in charge of the television production side, instead of actually the talent side. He can't tell you the first thing between a headlock and an arm drag to save his fucking life. I'd get into Kevin Dunn, but all you have to do is type in on your YouTube search. Just type in Kevin Dunn with 2 N's, Jim Cornette with 2 T's in the middle, and we'll let Jim Cornette go ahead and tell you all that you need to know about Kevin Dunn. Basically, the guy's fucking a dumbass. Why is he even in the business? But whatever.
Now, another name I wanted to bring up real quick, and I know it relates to one of your favorite wrestlers, Juancho, Chelsea Green.
Yes,
the real life. I believe they're married now.
Yeah, they're married now.
The real life wife of Matt Cardona, formerly WWE superstar Zack Ryder.
Yep.
She
was that guy.
Yes. Chelsea Green had recently was called up from NXT to debut on SmackDown, but in her very first match, she had suffered, I believe she had suffered an arm injury of some sort, and she was taken out of TV for months, and she was actually doing well, healing, and she was ready to get back into the ring, but then this happened.
Like, it's literally like, okay.
The life of the wrestler is fraught with perils.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking wreck. Like, here's what's up with and real quick, Bunda one more time on the chat saying Jim Cornette does a great Kevin Dunn impression. You're damn right. The guy's got fucking bucktooth Bucky Beaver thing.
Yeah.
We'll get into that another time. But
That's
basically
good.
with Chelsea Green, she also started on the independent circuit totally on her own. She started off. She wasn't trying to start off as like a bikini model or anything else. She started off wanting to be a fucking wrestler. One of the most notable angles that she had was working at Impact Wrestling, where she had the persona where she would play off as the hot mess. I believe she had this one angle where she was actually engaged to a wrestler. What the fuck was this guy?
What do you look like?
I don't remember. Who was she going to marry or whatever?
I don't know.
And like he fucking stood her up in the altar. So she snapped. She lost her fucking mind, and she basically went crazy ex-girlfriend on every woman who went anywhere near him and like tried to get back at him. She had like her gear was half white lace with like this nice fucking like sash kind of thing over here, like a bridal gown, and the other half is like her purple and green like wrestling tights, and she went out her way to look like her fucking wedding makeup was smeared every fucking time, and she went fucking ballistic in the ring. It was beautiful.
Jeez.
It was stupid looking, but it was beautiful and it was interesting.
Yes, it was.
The one thing that she did that was notable while she was in the WWE was something that I will never stop making fun of. She was the first like signee to the Robert Stone brand. Robert Stone was a wrestler. He went to the WWE. He's working as a manager.
Angel, just picture like your stereotypical like entertainment publicist persona.
Publicist Guido looking dude.
Talent agent.
Yeah, no, I can think of that.
like
All
the
I need to do is like put a little spray of Jersey showing that shit and we're good.
Actually, yes.
Yes.
Complete with brown leather loafers and no socks. As in, he wore his pants
Christ.
were the cuffs of the pants were high enough that you could see he's not wearing socks, and I hate that. I don't understand that.
It's supposed to be exotic.
It's not exotic. It is stupid. But let's move on.
Go on.
Basically, Chelsea Green just showed herself off as a premier athlete, which she did a great job. She did put on good matches while she was in NXT, and when they called her up to SmackDown, this fucking thing happens.
Yes.
Also, Mickie James was kicked off. How many times are they going to hire, fire, rehire, then refire Mickie James? You see, here's the thing.
Many times as it takes for him to learn his lesson.
Angel,
I don't
she's
know
a
what the lesson
woman.
is.
That's a woman. Angel.
Okay, Angel. She started off
As
in
many times as it takes for her to learn her lesson. I don't know what the
God
lesson
damn
is.
it. Okay.
Angel. I'm gonna send you a picture of this woman. I'm gonna send you.
Yeah, while you send the picture,
Please do.
I'll give a little background on Mickie James. Yeah, she was taken off television because she also had suffered an injury. The WWE have offered her to do some training to become a commentator for NXT. She even did commentating for 2 nights in the televised special of NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, but she was very anxious. She didn't want to do color commentary. She wanted to wrestle in the ring. There was a disagreement between her and WWE, so she was on the chopping block. Now,
Okay. She's also if you don't realize by now, she's a multi-time women's champion, not just in the WWE, but also at TNA Impact Wrestling. She's also wrestled in other independent circuits. And Angel, just tell me, I've just now sent
Show
you
me.
a picture of Mickie James.
yeah, check
Tell
your Facebook
me-
Messenger.
Let me check this out.
You punk.
All right. Check
me
this
see, let me
woman
see.
out and tell me, look me in the eyes right here. Pull the camera up, Angel. Pull the image up. Look me in the eyes and tell me that you wouldn't want to tap that. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say no, but she looks like she could break me by flexing her abs a little.
Good. Break me, Mickey.
All right,
God,
bring
okay.
it back.
Okay.
Bring it back.
My
What? Put your
boner.
dick down. He's messing with the camera.
Now, the slight good news for the wrestlers, despite being given a 90-day no-compete clause in their release, some of these wrestlers actually do have opportunities to go elsewhere. Mickie James, for example, she is married to current NWA World Champion Nick Aldis, so she has an avenue to go back to if she chooses to. She could go back to Impact Wrestling, or she could go join Nick in NWA. Now, Peyton Royce, she is the real-life wife of current AEW wrestler Shawn Spears. So, if All Elite Wrestling are so inclined, they could sign her up as well, and she could be featured on their programming along with Billy Kay. Samoa Joe, he right now is the hottest name in the list.
Like Samoa Joe can go anywhere and he'll make money no matter what.
Oh yeah.
Bunda on the chat. Mickie James was smoking hot in 2007. She's old now. She could just be a special attraction. While that may be doable, the fact of the matter is that she may be older. She's still smoking fucking hot, and she could still out wrestle any of the other women in any roster she goes into. The fact that she's been working hard consistently over the years shows that she's just on a whole nother level. And while she could easily work as a special attraction and attract money on it, the fact of the matter is she loves the sport.
Yes.
Of the entertainment
And
of pro wrestling.
You cannot help but to respect the people that love the sport. So I will say I'm kind of happy that even despite the fact that he's being let go, Mr. Samoa Joe ain't gonna lose his money anytime soon.
No, of
the dude
course.
apparently is branching into voice acting. For
Yeah.
a little fact, he voices Shark in the upcoming Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League game.
I remember
He's pretty
you
good at it.
I
gotta
remember
give
you
props.
mentioning that.
Wait,
And
who's voicing Shark?
Samoa Joe.
Oh yeah, that's
He's-
right.
Samoa Joe. He's voicing him in the game.
I remember
I was
you
kind of
men-
hoping they got him in the movie too, but Sylvester Stallone is good for that too.
Yes.
Yep.
I remember you mentioning that. And as for Kalisto, since he is a luchador, he has a couple of opportunities to go to. He can either go to Lucha Libre AAA or go to CMLL, Consejo Mundial de Lucha Libre, or he could go to AEW and actually team up with the Lucha Bros, Rey Fénix and Penta El Cero.
That'd be hysterically depressing,
Hey, that works too.
considering how subpar the Lucha Bros are in comparison. But
Hey, I like the Lucha Bros.
yeah, you would, wouldn't you?
Shut up.
The only one that I don't see any sort of future with is Mojo Rawley, but then again, he's kind of a dick, so whatever.
Yeah. So this is just a grim reminder, folks, that at the end of the day, the WWE is a company and not a family. Angel, your overall thoughts.
Of the day, it is a company, and the only thing they care about is the bottom line. Let's be honest, we have been through this whole thing many times because every single week you somehow manage to go, oh boy, let me take a look. You remember that scene from like, what was it again, Community or Breakfast Club, where the black dude walks in with the pizzas and the whole room is on fire and some motherfuckers just smacking shirt? Yeah, that's WWE every day, and the black dude is Joe. Every day he just opens the door going, boy, I wonder what's happening. Oh, they fucked up again. This is exactly what we thought was going to happen, and we discussed this a week ago. You were talking to me how you were getting worried that a bunch of those wrestlers weren't getting any push or any presentation, and we're just seeing the same names and the same shows over and over, and that coming to realize, yeah, this is pretty much exactly how they're going to work. They are going to keep pushing the faces that know they make money, and they will take absolutely no risk, because risk may equal loss. And when a company gets big enough, ironically enough, they become even... It's weird. You think that when a company gets big enough, their foothold will be insured, but it almost feels like it's the other way around sometimes, isn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Like they're going to... They feel like they're going to make one mistake and the entire building is going to crumble into a sinkhole on the 7th layer of hell or some shit like that.
All right, Angel, got to stop you right there. Juan, your final thoughts before we move on.
Before we move on, real quick, Ishilocos on the chat giving us double thumbs up on that. Thank you for that, Ishilocos.
Arigato gozaimasu.
And Bunda, one more time on the chat. They should have released Bray Wyatt. They've been trying for years to make him a monster. It's not working. He's too short, fat, and the gimmick is just lame.
Damn.
Well, the problem with Bray Wyatt is that they've overexposed the silliness of his gimmick. Like,
yeah.
Okay, you have to remember, he started off as this weird, like, Southern Bayou, like, cult leader wizard, like voodoo wizard kind of thing. Then he fought with Matt Hardy, with Woken Matt Hardy. He was purged of his power, and he was split into he has like a split personality thing where he became half Mr. Rogers and half fucking your paralysis demon. And then your paralysis demon just came up. He got set on fire by fucking Randy Orton, and then he came back with as extra crispy.
I remember that.
Now he came back as extra crispy Bray Wyatt. He's got Alexa Bliss, who on her own has a lot of personality and a lot of like ability, and they made her into his evil Harley Quinn, who's an 11-year-old girl in evil black goo makeup on her face now, and now he's. Sure. Yes, and now he's just extra crispy Bray Wyatt.
Yeah. So he lost at WrestleMania to Randy Orton.
He lost. It wasn't like a gimmicky voodoo-y crazy match. It was just a regular wrestling match.
7 minutes too. 7 minutes.
He was just on fire.
Like I find that silly because people say that there's too much gimmicks with him. Like, okay, here's a wrestling match. No, we don't want a wrestling match. We want the gimmicks. Like, what the fuck do you want?
You people are crazy.
People are fucking crazy. The point with all this is, in my opinion, half of these folks still had a bit of gas left in them, and they probably should have been managed a little bit more easily. But like y'all mentioned, at the end of the day, the WWE is going to cut people off, especially cut them off at the nuts, especially after WrestleMania, because they're pretty scared of holding on to anyone they don't think is worthwhile instead of taking a risk, like you mentioned earlier. So now, when they're going to show in their next quarterly review, oh, hey, look at all the profit we made. They're really projecting forward the savings. Numbers. They're really just projecting forward the savings of keeping these people on contract. So it's bullshit. It's a numbers game, and really Kevin Dunn has no fucking bearing on any of this, so I don't know why the fuck he's involved at all. So that's my fucking opinion.
You don't understand.
Absolutely.
One. If the number go up, then company do good. Me understand economics.
Yes, we know that.
Don't.
And
I don't fucking understand.
And somehow I have a feeling that these cuts are not going to stop there. I'm going to certainly keep my ears on the ground because I did read a report that the cuts are going to continue going into the NXT roster. So I'll keep you guys updated on that.
Good God.